The Aesir Fortifications bundle has finally rolled onto the bazaar. People have been waiting just about a month. There's been a ton of excitement around this set, but was it worth the hype? We're going to find out today. Firstly, for clarity, this set was gifted to me by Funcom. Just like all my other reviews for the bazaar, that will in no way affect my opinions of this set, nor will it affect my recommendation, or lack thereof. I'll be reviewing this bundle just as I would have if I'd spent my own money on it. The Aesir Fortifications bundle will be available for about 26 days as of the date of this video going out. It comes in at 1,000 Crom coins or just over $8. The set includes 15 pieces across 4 sets: fortified walls, foundations and walls, gates and crenellations, and ceilings and stairs. Visually, the Aesir set takes the form of rudimentary logs and planks, often adorned with wooden plugs and Aesir patterns. In terms of design, it's probably best compared to the insulated wood set, although it is a bit nicer than that, I'd say. It's a very rustic set designed to evoke something of a Viking feel, which suits the Aesir theme quite well. The floors are grained and the walls are uniform on both sides, meaning you don't have to worry about orientation. Overall, a nice and simple premise that is otherwise fairly underrepresented. In terms of strength, the building set is equivalent to tier 3, so you kinda know what to expect. The walls, foundations, gates, etc. are all identical in health to Black Ice, though the large exterior walls do come in at 80,000 health per piece, 10,000 stronger than regular tier 3 walls, which does make sense given how large they are. On the practical and technical aspects of this set, I think it's important to consider what this set is trying to do. It's not necessarily trying to be a full build set like Stone Brick, Black Ice, but a slightly specialised set that you'd use mainly for large, mostly straight exterior walls. That doesn't mean you can't use it for other purposes, but that is the primary design function. One thing you will likely notice is that the set does miss out on a few pieces. There are no wedge foundations or ceilings, and there are also no full-size stairs, pillars, regular door frames, ramps or awnings. This might be a downside to some. I personally don't mind, as I can see what they're going for here, and thus it doesn't negatively affect the set too bad in my mind. The set is still incredibly flexible. The fort walls themselves, which are probably the biggest attraction, are 3 tiles high, which at first felt a bit odd as it's that weird grey area between 1 floor and 2. However, I think it ends up working better than expected. When it comes to the meat of it and actually building with this set, I'm pleased to say that it immediately felt natural. There are a couple of things I didn't expect, namely that the fortification walls actually sit on the outside of foundations, but I found that actually quite beneficial. Additionally, across the board, the curved pieces were nowhere near as frustrating as the Terranian extension set. There was a hotfix to all platforms that dropped the same day this set came onto the bazaar, which noted they'd fixed issues with this set before the launch, so I'm guessing that's why it's taken almost a month to come out. To be honest, this is the sort of stuff I want to see going forward. I'm sure people won't mind waiting if the set is relatively bug-free when it comes out. On that aspect of bugs, I've found a grand total of 1 singular issue. As of the time of writing, you can't use the copy building piece button on straight fence pieces. You can still craft them, place them, destroy them, you just can't grab them from your hammer. A really minor issue in the grand scheme of things, and one that will probably get ironed out quite quickly. The biggest difficulty I found is that some of the curved fence pieces can be a bit finicky, but it's nowhere near as bad as the Terranian set, and it's more a matter of finding the sweet spot rather than removing or replacing pieces to try and reset the clipping. It's also worth noting that whilst not a glitch, you do need to start building your walls from either a curved or a straight piece, as the inverted corner pieces sometimes won't orient properly. I see that being mostly an issue of where they socket onto other pieces, but it is something you learn and overcome within the first 5 minutes of using the set, so it's not a big deal in the slightest. I did encounter 1 or 2 instances where some of the fortification walls were not behaving as I'd expect them to. Namely, they struggled to orient one way but would go pretty much any other way, but to be fair, I was fiddling around and trying to get them to go in places they usually shouldn't go. Aside from that, I've encountered no other issues on PC, something I'll be hopefully able to say more often in the future, if Funcom continues to show the due diligence by holding back sets that need fixes. I'm hoping this is the experience that everybody else gets as well, because bug-free is ideal. One downside stylistically of the set is that it can encourage some bad habits. Because it's meant to work with long, straight stretches of wall, some may find themselves building in a very boxy fashion. However, this set has all the tools you need to ensure you don't do that. The rounded and inverted corner segments are very nice, and the sharp triangles you can create in the walls really help to break up any visual monotony. All of these same pieces can also be used to create independent decorative towers and other set pieces you can use in creative ways outside of the set's usual remit. Though it may not initially seem that way, I am increasingly surprised with how flexible this set is. One final downside I discovered is that you can't build towers upwards using the curved fort walls. The rest are fine, but those walls have some really complex snapping mechanics that make it near impossible, though this might get patched in the future. Nevertheless, you can still build some really cool looking towers and monuments. Whilst it may seem like a simple set, the options are really endless. You could make an open air keep with a small fort made of this material and it would look great. Honestly, I'm just really impressed with this bundle. The design of the pieces is simple yet entirely effective, and it's pretty easy and quite fun to build with, and hits a niche that nothing else hits. Finally having access to some gently sloping walls is an absolute godsend, and when you start mixing this set with others, it shines. So, with the details covered, let's get down to the crux of it. Do I recommend the Aesir Fortification building set? Well, I don't give many recommendations for the Bazaar, but I'm definitely recommending this set. Price-wise, I expected anywhere between $10 and $15, so a price point of around $8 is a bit lower than I expected. Is it a fair price for this set, considering what's in it and what it's capable of? I would say mostly yes. It's a shame there are no wedge pieces or full stair pieces, though I do understand why and what they're going for. I'm personally not a massive fan of the fence pieces in some ways, but that's just personal taste, and they will probably grow on me. They have already grown on me in the course of making this video. I think the price, considering the amount of items you get, is decent, and I think the set is flexible enough to warrant that price and not lock you into just one really restrictive building style. Overall, this set is well made, hits a unique niche, and the fact it was actively held back to ensure Funcom could squash some bugs before it released is something that I do like to see. I do kind of wish that had been communicated, but I'd rather know after the fact than deal with another buggy building set like the Terranian extension. Overall, this is a really good set. It fits its intended purpose well, but can also shine outside of it. It's not quite as good as something like Stormglass Cathedral, but that is a mighty high standard to reach. I'll admit the Aesir Fortification bundle is not trying to be a full building set, it's trying to offer you creative and good looking solutions to defensive walls, and in my opinion, it does that extremely well. If you can see yourself using this set, I would definitely recommend you pick it up. $8, in my opinion, is a pretty good price for what you get, and there's nothing else quite like it in the game right now. All things considered, I think they've done a good job. Thank you for watching, and of course a massive thanks to our wonderful esteemed coffee cultists for continuing to support the channel over on Patreon. Much like some of my other reviews, over the course of recording this video I've come across a few cool tricks, so keep an eye out for a building tips video with this set pretty soon. Again, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon.